Milan AC of the world. Hey, how's it going? It's Shane, your most favorite host from the Milanistas 360 podcast. Nice to see you all again, I guess, today. So I'm here as well with my fellow co-host Nick. And because we enjoyed his company from a couple of podcasts ago, very much so, we also have our guy Max Lombardia.
Hello,
and
everyone.
also Hey Max, and also he's co-host from the MLM podcast. Check him out, Gino. So I guess.
Hey everyone.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? So I guess let's start with so Max. I guess how was your week?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Another week of work, and I topped it off with a Scarecrow Festival today in Surrey. That's the sort of thing I've been doing today. So that's my week. Gino, I was just thinking, their intro is really good. We're going to have to do something, aren't we?
Mate, I was watching that intro and I'm going, the production quality value here is so much better than me sat in my garden room, right? Basically screaming down a microphone and going, oh my God, I can't get it to work. So
we had to actually book George Weah, again to recreate that goal, by the way, guys, because we couldn't. Yeah, no. Thanks for that. So you went to the so I want to say the Burning Man, but it's more like the Wicker Man festival. You went to, Max.
Well, yeah, it was a bit like that. I mean, it's all these people make their own scarecrows, then you've got to go around and guess who they are. Some of them were quite interesting, let's put it that way. But yeah,
I bet, can imagine. And where's that? Where's that, Max? Where's that festival?
It's in Surrey, close to where I live.
Okay.
Got it.
I'm so anybody listening to this and has not ever heard of a scarecrow contest. This is so bizarre.
Look, listen, don't say I don't bring anything to these podcasts, right? That's different.
So when did you start working for the Surrey Tourism Board, Max?
Well, I'll tell you what, there was a particular scarecrow that was called, and it was dressed in off-white, and I think they said something about it being on fire, Golly's on fire or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. We now know that Max entered it. Where did you come, Max?
Oh no, I didn't enter it. Oh no. I'm not exclusive. So I afford the mortgage in Surrey, mate. Come on.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Right, here it. Oh, it all comes out now. It's all out in the wash. Right, it's fine. It's fine.
Everybody knows now.
Very good. So, and I guess if they set fire to any scarecrows after that, it would have went up in smoke, just like our chances of winning the title this year. So there we go.
Yeah, but the scarecrow did start at 4-2-3-1, and we did have Ruben Loftus-Cheek in the middle. So it's all
there it is.
Let's move on.
There it is.
I think the scarecrow even has more tactics than Pioli at this point.
More variation, lads. More variation. That's what I said.
He's
adaptability.
Yes,
there it is.
And more character as well during the press conference.
Oh God, yeah. Sorry, jeez.
Oh, sorry to all the Pioli sexuals who are online. Where are you? Come on, let's hear you. Let's be having you.
They're out there hiding right now.
Oh yeah,
there they are.
They'll be rooting for Napoli next season.
Oh, please do, please do, please.
Oh my!
I'm here for it.
Oh my days. So I guess after the bombshell that was the Scarecrow Festival, we'll go over to you. Gino, how's your week, man?
Oh God! Well, it sounds better than Max's. Yeah, fine. It's not too bad. I'm in Northern England. We generally tend to not do such scarecrow festivals. More like just actual people sat in their front yard that look like them. So yeah, all fine, all fine. Topped off today with the far too much caffeine and watching the Giro d'Italia, which has just finished, the second stage, not the whole thing. That would have been a short one. So yeah.
Very good.
How are you guys? What have you been up to?
Yeah, good, man. And honestly, without getting into it too much in the old career, my job has really picked up a lot. So honestly, it's been a welcome distraction as well because it kind of keeps away from the crippling depression that this season has given me so far. Because when you're too busy at work, you you forget the fact that the team has just broken my soul on so many levels. But besides that, man, yeah, good. How about you, Nico?
Well, it's excellent down in Mexico, down in the Caribbean. Weather's perfect. It's about 90 degrees now. That's nice. But in terms of scarecrows, so we actually lived in an area with actual real scarecrows in Phoenix, Arizona. So if anybody's not familiar with Phoenix, Arizona, there's a high rate of walking. It's like a zombie apocalypse of homeless people walking around high on fentanyl and a bunch of other drugs.
Right. Okay.
Hold on a minute. That doesn't sound too dissimilar to it. No, I'm joking.
What?
Yeah.
What podcast did I come into?
So that being said, living in Mexico is much nicer. We don't have that. It's a much more calmer environment.
Sorry. So you live in Mexico, but you were in Phoenix, all right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I lived in Phoenix for about 8 years, but we decided to get the hell out because it was just getting really bad.
Right, because of all the drug taking, which was not
the homeless people. It's a mess. Yeah, I don't know what they do in Mexico. Did they hide them? There's the homeless people in Mexico don't exist. It's very few compared to the United States.
Surely they're all just like on an ayahuasca tour.
Yeah, exactly. We got the jungles of Tulum. They're hanging out with the Mayan temples and stuff like that, pyramids.
Yeah. Take your madre mole and have an ayahuasca. That's where they are. So
exactly. Yeah, they're on spiritual retreats here.
Find yourself.
There you go.
Indeed. So all of my fancy jigging up as well of the the what you call it captions to introduce the guys, but I only kind of half did it. So yeah, obviously just to say again, Mr. Max Lombardia and Mr. Gino De Blas from the MLM podcast. So like honestly great content, very down to earth, and non bullshit emotional and full of logic and stuff that actually makes sense. So we're very happy to have him on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I guess just to kick in a bit, we'll go through the boring stuff first. The boring stuff being the things that I wanted to cover today, because that's the way it works sometimes. So we wanted to go through just a small little segment about some of the players that we have out on loan this year. The list is very exhaustive, right? Because I think there's around 15 to 17 players, something like that has been, that have been basically sent out on loan. So we've decided to go through 5 in particular. So let me just bring up that if I can find it. Here we go. So this is the list of basically who we have out on loan. So I guess starting at the top by market value, we have CDK. A couple of interesting facts about CDK. So while he's been out at Atalanta, so far this season, he's made 30 appearances. He's scored 7 goals and he's assisted 6 times. He's been in the starting 11 67% amount of time. And his market value, actually, funny enough, he's one of the only players out on loan whose market value has not actually decreased since he's left the club. It has remained back to where it was when he was actually sent out on loan. Well, actually, it's a bit higher. When he joined us, it was 25. When he left on loan, it was 25, and now he's back at 30, which is where he was when he signed for us. So, I guess.
Well, I'm glad to see that we didn't totally destroy his career then.
No, that's it. I mean, if it stayed for another season, God, you like.
God,
that's what would have happened.
Yeah,
Right?
defo.
I do want to say something about CDK. So I got a chance to watch his debut when I was in Milan 2 summers ago. I attended the Bologna game at San Siro back in late August, I think it was, when Pioli was still on fire. And CDK actually looked good at that game. I remember the next day in the papers, everybody was raving about his performance. Whatever happened after that fact, it was like just a complete downfall. But he
killed Pioli's cat.
Yeah, he killed Pioli's cat or his dog. I have no idea. Yeah. Maybe who knows? But
Yeah.
He actually.
Sorry, lads. I just stand by these conspiracy theories because I hate conspiracy theorists generally, but I just love to give my own conspiracy theories about Milan players. That's the only thing I will have a conspiracy theory on. There you go. A little bit of insight into my brain there. Carry on.
So let's say, right, I don't know what the terms of the deal were with Atalanta. I believe it was 24 million that Atalanta would have to hand over to purchase him. If that's the case,
I think there's bonuses as well. I think it's 23 mil plus bonuses as well to get it up to 30 something in total with a loan fee that they paid us the first time round.
Okay.
And I think in total, if I'm not wrong, in all competitions, including.
Someone's got a water feature going on.
Oh, sorry. That was me. Sorry. I forgot I was mic'd up.
Feature.
There you go. That was a tap. That was a tap.
Definitely a tap.
Not a biological tap. That was, there it is. Sorry, everyone. Anybody listening at home, please don't worry. I'm not doing anything dirty. It was just literally just a tap. Sorry, carry on.
Now you have to flush the toilet.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to wash my hands. I just dropped something. So I just there was coated in it. I was like, oh God. I genuinely have not pissed on myself. I just want this to be clear on this podcast. Right. Use that in the clip. Right, carry on. You can go. I'm sorry. Oh, Max, you literally just left me here. Guys, I'm so sorry. This is a really good stream, and I've just ruined it now. So all the good work over the air. There you go. To what sounds like a BDSM channel. It's not. It's the Milan channel. Carry on. Look.
If any kids are listening to this, please, turn them away.
Yeah. I think in total he has 11 goals and 9 assists in all comps, so he's done pretty well. He's got 20 goal contributions. Would I take him back? Probably not at this point. I'm not sure we'll be able to get what Atalanta has out of him at Milan, new manager or not. There's been a lot of people talking about how it's a smaller club than Milan, and I get that, but also Atalanta have performed pretty well all season, so I'd like to take him back, but I don't think it would work, and I think we definitely want to take the money at this point and reinvest it into those really important positions that we desperately need, like a centre forward, like a CDM, like a centre back. So that's my take on it.
Do you know what might be interesting? Imagine, right? CDK is the only Milan player this season that could end up with a trophy.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh God!
Imagine that.
Right.
Imagine.
It's great. It's all part of being a Milan fan these days. You need some sort of sadist streak in you. Anyway, right. On to is the consensus that you'd sell him? Or you?
Yeah, for me, yes.
For me, I'm sorry, Gino. Go ahead.
No, go on. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say it all depends on. I think we would sell him, but the new coach coming in, maybe he can revive his career. I don't know. Do something that Pioli couldn't do, like put him in his right position.
Yeah. It's amazing how little things like that actually improve player performance when you play them in the position that they've been trained in for years.
Yeah, little things. There you go. Just little things.
Let's play Musa at right wing back. Nothing wrong.
Oh, don't! Why would you be so few minutes in and say that?
Well, my favorite moment was when Krunic played center back. That was my favorite moment of the year. That was my highlight of this season.
Is this an AC Milan stream or just like rendition? What are you two on?
Usually, Gino, we're very negative about the club, so we're trying to lighten up a little bit because we're.
Oh, there it is.
That's it.
It is.
So, speaking of trauma, so next player up is Alexis Salamakers, who was sharing the right wing with Messi last season. That was great.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's at Bologna these days. So he's actually at 27 appearances this season. 4 goals, 3 assists. And he's been in the starting 11 61% of the time. His market value has dropped off markedly. So it's gone from 15 million to 10 million. Which is okay, I guess maybe understandable based on the amount of time he's left in his contract. So, I guess it's it looks for now that Bologna are going to take up the offer and actually, purchase him. But again, a lot of that I would assume is kind of tied to if Mata stays or not. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
But if we got 10 million for him, so start with you, Nico. Do you keep him or do you just push him out the door as quickly as you can?
If they're looking to package him to get Xerxes, I think that was what's been being said online by various reporters, right? Is that they're trying to sweeten the pot and use Salamakers in that deal. So that would make sense.
Yeah, I mean,
because honestly, look, who else is our right winger? We have Chukwueze, Pulisic, and that's it.
We also have, we're going to speak about him in a bit. We also have Luca Romero, who for those 2 friendlies that he basically played in, he looked dangerous. And then, in the competitive season, he didn't really do much, I don't think. Could be wrong there. Didn't really, but he wasn't given a chance. But I can see why.
Pioli.
Because Pioli. But obviously, it's like Pulisic was there, and Chukwueze was a fairly large price tag not to play.
Well, he was also trying to turn him into like a centre attacking midfielder. So again, playing in the wrong position. He's also young. So that inexperience of being able to turn around and say, no, that's not my position. You're in a big club and you want to try and do your best. So you're kind of more malleable to saying, yeah, go on, I'll play there. I mean, if he'd said to him, go play goalkeeper, he probably would have said yes, which would have been a terrible idea. But, you never know anymore, do you? So it's...
And there's a key thing with Romero, right? Like, so he's had 9 appearances in La Liga this year so far. So he scored 2 goals. I mean, that's not bad. Like,
in the same game.
It was in the same game.
Yeah, in the same game.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a different league too. Let's point something out. We've seen Raheem what he's doing in Madrid, right?
Yeah.
There's obvious reasons. He has more talent. He's got Carlo as his coach, but the league's different too. It's a completely different league. And I think that plays a role in it too. So certain players will be more successful. Look at Henry when he came to Italy. What did he do years ago? Nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
And that's Henry, one of the top players ever to play in that position. So I think it's a lot more than just the coach. And I think that being around a certain team, a certain league, benefits certain players.
So do you keep Luca Romero as a backup third choice right winger / we're trying to make him into a cam, or do you convert him assuming we could get 5 million for him?
I say get your money for him.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yep.
Sell
Would
him.
you,
Sell.
Max?
Sell.
Yeah, sell.
We'll take the silence as an agreement, Max. That's how it works.
I'm trying to think what I think with Romero. I wouldn't necessarily sell him. I think I'd loan him out again.
Yeah.
Give him another season in another team just to see what he's capable of before I sell him.
Although it's
with
crazy,
Romero.
but he is only 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really
Yeah.
young. Yeah, I'm not saying he's going to become a superstar in one
That's
season,
it.
but he might show something else. I mean, he's gone to Almeria, who are bottom of the La Liga. They're not exactly anything special. Maybe he's in I don't want to say mid-table club in Serie A, or maybe a mid-table club in La Liga. He might be a bit better. He could show something a bit extra with better players around him. So for me, I'd probably do him another loan for another season, but a full season with the full pre-season of the manager of that club, etc., and see then what he can do. And then we were talking about Salad, weren't we?
We were.
Yeah.
And I want to know if if we got 10 million for him, and especially forget the Xerxes part, right? But based on the 10 million, would you junk Salamakers for that?
100%. You're going to make a plus Valencia on Salamakers.
I know.
I'd carry him on my back.
Yeah.
I'd put him on my back and I'd carry him all the way to Bologna from
Or what-
Milan and say, put the money in
What
my
was that
account
one
now.
funny thing you said about him, Nico, ages ago? I think it was that time that he got that wonder goal against Napoli in the Champions League, and it was like he temporarily got possessed by Maradona in the Napoli locker room.
He did.
Yeah.
That was his moment. That was it. Now we never saw him again. I mean, the only thing that Salamakers provided for it was defense. Defensively, he was pretty good.
That's it.
Defensively, yes.
And
Defensively, he was good. Backtrack.
Has Salad? He's been playing on the left though for Bologna, hasn't he? He's not been playing on the right.
Do you know what? I noticed that, but I think isn't he doing that? Isn't Mata doing that weird rotational thing where like that Pioli's tried doing with the right and the left try and interchange?
So that style of play, that's called they coined the term. This guy Jamie Hamilton out of England, he coined the term co-relationship. It's based off the Brazilian style of football, where there's no real set positions. So these new coaches like Motta, Spalletti even did it too in Napoli. Carlo does it at Madrid. They just you're set in a position per se. You're a number, whatever, but you have the ability to roam, to shift over to the left or the right of the pitch, just like we see Pulisic sometimes too, and Leon occasionally.
It's like an extension of a total football. In that you are filling up the spaces where you've got to be, so that so you've got a tactical development that comes from it. It's like that extension of it. I think when I've seen him play at Bologna this season, I've seen him on the left-hand side and right-hand side, but it's very, very rarely ever in the middle. So it's weirdly, it's a bit like a zonal kind of play. Just switching sides. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Have I,
Yeah. So it's like the opposite of traditional positional football that you see with an English football teams.
Except when Pioli does it, because that could be the early warning signs of dementia.
Fucking hell. Sorry.
Anyway. All right.
Sorry, kids. Right. There's a swear jar. It's Max. Have a word with me. I just go offline. Just have a word with me a second. Send me a message.
You are called Gino for a reason.
Sorry. Sorry, everyone.
From ads that we were never going to get. That's really going to hit our bottom line now. I'm distraught.
So sorry. It's just that it was so accurate. It's like an early warning sign. It's like you kind of knew Ukraine was going to get attacked when Pioli went to 505. You just knew, didn't you?
Yeah.
So
That's it. Butterfect, that's what it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So And just going back, so Luca Romero, sorry, Max, I think so. We got Gino is keeping loan, I believe. Gino, Max, what did you say?
I said
Keeping
low.
loan. Sorry, I thought it was Gino said that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Nico? Luca Romero.
Well, I did say some, but that being that I forgot to mention, he is called the Mexican Messi, by the way.
That's it.
That's his nickname.
That's
Yeah. So that being said, he could potentially be the next Messi. I don't know. I mean, who knows what can happen with the manager.
Right. He
It's a
could
long
also be
shot.
the Duso as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
God bless.
I mean,
God bless.
the kid's 19, so yeah, loan. Like, look what the loan did. A perfect loan now to Gabi's career, his confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd loan him out. Sure, I said sell him before, but I've changed my mind. Loan him out and see what he does.
Cool. All right, and I'm not going to. Okay, so I'm just going to go on to Lorenzo Colombo. So. Obviously, at the moment, he was loaned out to our, let's say, cousin club at Monza. So he's had 25 appearances this season, 4 goals, 1 assist. 22 years of age, though. Funny enough, his market valuation has actually gone up to 7 million this year. On June 15, so 2023, so during the summer transfer window, it was only 5, so it's actually gone up, so going in a positive direction. So I guess, Nico, do you let's say we got a bid in for, I don't know what his market value is, what is that, 5? Do you sell or do you or do you
Is
loan
it
him out?
7?
Oh, 7, pardon me, 7.
Yeah, 7. Yeah, 5 is Luca. Well, let's think. Well, we do need another striker. I'd say take him back, because if we're going to sell, say we sell Saelmakers, we make money off of Charles. That's what, 40 mil. Give or take. Yeah, I'd keep him. I'd bring him back, since we need, and also the fact that we need more Italian players on the team for various reasons, right? I'd bring him back.
Yeah. I think so. It does make sense. And even if by some miracle we did manage to purchase Italian players for under like 100 million, I definitely, I think there's definitely merit in having them on the roster, especially even if it is again to go out on loan for me. I guess. What about you, Gino?
I mean, I've been a huge fan of Colombo's for a few years now, and seeing what he's done at Monza, I think he's the kind of player we need. I think he's the kind of forward we need as well. So I would keep. If the thing is, it's all dependent on who comes in next. If the person that comes in next is somebody that's going to turn around and say, okay, I don't have a lot of budget to go and get the players that I want, but I've got the kind of mold of player, the style of player that I'm looking for already available, and they're young, and they also happen to be Milan Youth Academy product and all the rest of it, then why wouldn't you? I mean, we're going to get into the managers next, but weirdly, something like, what if Abate got the job?
Yeah, you see, I've so much unresolved trauma with Abate, because I just remember him rocking up in the middle, like right at the end of the banter era. Well, it wasn't right at the end, but he was the only one left for a while.
But Abate has shown managerially the characteristics of actually a lot of the things that we have been asking for from the manager. So all I'm saying is, if it was him and he had Colombo, you could imagine that being a great kind of partnership there, coach to player. Okay. Regardless of that, you bring in somebody else, they're looking and they're saying, well, who are our strikers? Jovic might not be resolved as a striker. Okafor might decide that he wants to go away because he's going to get more time at, let's say, a Wolfsburg, as an example. So you could get 50 million, 20 million for him, whatever it is. I mean, you'd hope to get a lot more. I personally would never sell him, but I'm just saying, so therefore you do have a striker issue. So I personally would keep and loan out if that was an option. If you're not going to play him for the season, loan him out. Let him get the experience. Let him get the time in his legs in another professional team for the whole season. Maybe it's even Monza again. He develops even more. He's close to Milan. There's a lot of factors there, but I would certainly keep.
Fair point. What about you, Max?
I like Colombo. I like the way that he plays, and his style is quite good. It's one of those sort of blocky centre forward ones with pace, which I quite like. But I would say with Colombo, he's 22. I look at next season. I know that. Well, it sounds like we're going to keep Jovic. So that's your third striker. Colombo, where does he fit into three strikers if Jovic is one of them? I'm not sure. I want Colombo in there with Jovic, and then another one. I think I need something stronger than that. For me personally, with Colombo, I'd probably be looking at selling him, but I'd be looking at selling him against. I'd be looking at using him as some kind of counter offer for a decent player in one of these smaller clubs. You see it happen all the time where these Italian players who aren't worth 15, 20 million somehow end up being worth 15, 20 million, and they get used in these counter deals against other, much better players. Then, buyback clause, resale value. I'm sure. Resale percentage, I'm sure we can do some kind of business. I look at Cole Parney at Monza, and I think he could do well at Milan.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to do something where we use Colombo now, whilst he's worth some money, to get another player in. Is Colombo going to be that guy? Well, he's 22. 4 goals and an assist in a smaller club from quite a few appearances. I mean, I'm not sure. I'd probably sell him, but I would do it smartly. I would do it with some kind of resale value. I would do some kind of percentage. I'd be looking at how I can get something out of the club that I'm going to give him to. Astutely. I think he is one of those counterparts. He's young. He's Italian. I know we need some more Italian players in our squad, but I'm just looking at next season. I'm looking at Jovic. I'm looking at the massive gap left in centre forward from Giroud, looking at the way that we've played this season and that need for that injection of cash to get that proper centre forward and its deputy. I think he's one of the ones you'd have to sacrifice.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I think I kind of flow along with that, to be honest. I think there's so much, there's more reasons that you would keep him in terms of it giving you more flexibility as to what you could potentially do with the player. But if it's a case that, we kind of decided, right, we can offload, for want of a better word. I think it does make sense that we do get creative with the little bits on the contract to kind of say, okay, so, resale value, etc., etc., etc. What about you, Nico? I think you're might be on mute.
About now?
No, you're there. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, like I said, I'd say keep. Listen, if we're going to use the money properly and buy that big center forward that we need, to give us that 15, 20 goals at a certain point, I'd sell them. Gino made a good point. I think Max made a good point. Sell them wisely, right? Do the right thing.
Yeah.
Be take our time and actually have a real plan behind this.
Get some of those amazing Real Madrid / Bayern Munich resale clauses in that let a ton of profit go to players like.
But that's the thing too. That's the thing. We don't have do we have those people in place currently in management? We don't. We don't have the Moratas. We don't have the people that Inter has in Juve that have experience within football.
That's it.
No, we got Jerry.
We got Jerry. We have Ibra, he's still inexperienced.
Yeah.
I call him the muscle of the club. He's the buffer between Jerry and the Curva. and if the Curva come after Jerry, here's Ibra covering his back because Ibra is a black belt and Taekwondo.
That's it.
Whoever he is. And then you have Moncada, who's still learning the game.
Yeah.
And then Ferlani, who hasn't shaved in about 40 years.
Oh, God.
He's just an accountant, though, isn't he?
He
Yeah,
is pretty much. He's got the
he's the
physique
best
of one as well, which is even better. It's great. I've never seen.
He's
like,
got
something-
like
He's like he looks like a 10-year-old with a beard. It's amazing. It's like he's sitting on that.
he looks like one of those scarecrows that Max saw today.
That's it.
The
The scarecrows had more personality though.
Yeah, these are taller as well.
Oh, they're taller. They're even. Oh god. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad if you follow on. Just a lot. By the way, people in the comments. I don't know if you. So they're saying Happy Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. The Christians put sell Chuck CDK treatment.
That's it.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Thanks, Christian.
Sell him to
It's like-
Atalanta so they can sell him to Juventus for 100 million 3 years.
Yeah.
That's
And
what-
we
that's-
get nothing for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the way it goes,
Oh.
man.
Okay.
Just so there's one more player on this list I wanted to actually comment on.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
so the rest of them, to be honest, I couldn't give a toss about except Daniel Maldini. So yeah, just a bit of a recap about where he's at. So he's also at our I guess cousin club, Monza. So he's had 18 appearances this year. He's had 4 goals, 1 assist. And he's only been in the starting 11 14% of the time. So, I mean, yeah, it's like, so considering as well, like his market cap or his market value as per transfer market, right, at the moment is 3 million. Do you actually say, all right, let's try and get to 3 million now, or do you just, send him out on loan again, or do you keep him at the club? Let's go to you, Nico, first on this one.
Let me start off saying with you, it's not right for us not to have one Maldini on the club with the history that the Maldinis have, right?
We could have had 2.
We could have 2.
Yeah.
So
We all know what happened.
what's Milan without Maldini? And it's not like the kid's a terrible player. If he was a sub-bar player, I'd say I could care less about his last name. We do remember Leao has said, he came out and he said Maldini's talented, the kid's got skill. And that's Leao. I'd bring him back. I think under the right coach and as an attacking midfielder, he could do some serious damage with us. Eventually, he's only 22.
That's it. That's true. So how about you, Max?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Nico.
No, that's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Moving on.
Cool. What about you, Max? What do you think?
I'll probably loan him out again. I look at where he's been on loan. So he spent a season inspector with Thiago Motta.
Mm-hmm.
He spent half the season in a really struggling Empoli that changed manager a couple of times just in the first half of the season. And then he spent the second half of the season on loan to Monza, where he's been a bit better. I would probably loan him out for a full season to a Monza. Again, give him the chance for a full season in the starting 11, see if he can break his way into that and see what play you've actually got. I know his name carries weight, and I know that he is quite good on the ball, and he is a good attacking player. But again, for attacking players, I just think they need to play regularly. They need 7, 8, 9 starts in a row. They need minutes in their legs to be able to form that confidence. And I just don't think he gets it at Monza at the moment. But 4 goals and assists is pretty good for half a season. So I think I'd want to see what he can do for a full season, fully fit in another club, and then I'd make a choice on him. But he is 22. He's not the 19-year-old Romero. He's got a few years on him.
Sorry.
So yeah, I think loan him personally.
1 second, guys. I just need to step away for 1 minute. Nico, do you want to continue there? I just need to step away for 1 minute.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead, Shane. All right. So I don't know what else player he wanted to cover. So we talked about Maldini, Colombo, Roma, Mexican Messi. So Christian says, buy Kroenig back. We need him for Skillard.
Is Christian, honestly, is Christian just trolling us, by the way? Because I'm reading all the stuff he's saying. It's like...
So I got to give Christian credit. He's one of our most he does listen to the pod because he's one of the most
Right.
dedicated followers,
Awesome.
and he does follow my pod as well.
Right. I do like the cut of his gym, Sell Milan Lab.
Yes.
Yes, he's trolling. He's trolling.
Yeah, he's fun. And we have Gio too. Gio from Coast to Coast is in the chat
I
too.
love Gio.
Oh, Gio. Hey, mate.
He's so good.
So we'll wait on Shane to come back and see what else player he wanted to cover, because I didn't do any research on these players, to be honest.
Well, I like this one. Shane getting the call from Jerry. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
exactly what's
There.
happening.
Shane's giving Jerry my address. It's like, don't do it, Shane.
Shane, Gino, funny thing you mentioned about your address. I think you brought out on your last pod, you had brought out the fact that about the
oh yeah, people can come and visit me. Yeah.
based off that really racist thing that came out from one of the members of the Curva.
Yeah.
You say my address is public. Come and find me.
It is. It actually is, because of my business. So,
okay.
But I kind of. Well, I don't give a shit. Excuse my language. I don't care. Just come and visit. We'll have a coffee. It'll be fine.
Well, that's the thing, guy. Let's talk about that for a second. So the Curva came out the other day saying they were going to protest today's game against Genoa.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, they've done that before, right? During the Banner era, right? And all that stuff. But my thing is, and my issue is, when we do it, us, the general fan base, say negative things about the club, don't turn out for games, sell our tickets, don't watch games. We're either called fake fans, or in another case, I remember a while back, the leader of the Curva came out and said it in Italian, but luckily I think one of our own members had translated for us, called us little fans for acting that way. So
right.
It's like it's kind of a double standard. It's like, well, it's okay for you guys to protest the team and not show up and support, but when we do it, we're called fake fans or little fans.
Yeah, but that's just the dynamic of ultras.
I understand that, yes, and they have weight, but at the end of the day, I know they have the history in Europe, but it becomes a little bit too much, I think, at certain points. Like, well, the curve doesn't speak for everybody, first of all.
Well, no, that doesn't, no.
But they do have a bigger voice, it seems like. With management, they, in terms of, well, they came out and said, we don't want Lopetegui, and now they turned away from Lopetegui.
So, yeah, but So my question is, the way that the Curvas were or have always been established and were established, okay, it's always been like very political. And when Berlusconi took over, a lot of the stuff that was happening in the stadium in the 80s, he was trying to get rid of. So he made big pacts with a lot of the guys. And I've actually forgotten the surname of who was the Capo Ultra, but his first name Stefano.
Okay.
And he went to jail for aggravated manslaughter. Okay, for a few years, came out and was back in the stadium. And there was a lot of people that were very scared of the influence of where the Curva was for Milan. And if you look at what Milan's Curva is now, it's basically, for want of a better description, right? They are a choreography team. They're not this kind of intimidating. We're going to beat you up outside of where you live, aka Lazio ones. So their dynamic is very much more like a counselor. They are this direct channel and path, but what they say is absolute nonsense half of the time. I mean, case in point, Maldini. When Maldini retired, Maldini always brings this up.
Oh, I remember that game.
I am annoyed with Maldini for constantly bringing it up, saying that lui era fischiato, that he was booed against. Okay, hang on. I was there. I mean, I'm not saying that he wasn't booed against, but it was 20 idiots. And that's what he remembers, and not the 70,000+ that were applauding him. You know, it's this kind of thing of where the actual Kurva steps in and where they step out. And I think what they're doing right now, there you go, Kurva glorified cheerleaders. I mean, I wouldn't be so dismissive there, Ricardas, but they are. In a way, they are. They are a glorified cheerleader. They do the best choreography. We've seen that, right, in Italy.
They do.
But it's give them pom-poms. No, we're not going to give them pom-poms. So they do have this kind of power. I do get what you're saying. If we say it, we're plastic fans. When they say it, they're not plastic fans. Well, you know, get a grip. Yeah, have a word with yourself. Just calm down. You know, it's not that bad. You know, so it's I wouldn't pay any attention to them. I think I would pay attention to them when they are writing letters, because they don't write letters that much. But when they do, they're trying to make a point. They're trying to make a very, very specific point. So I honestly, I take a lot of the stuff that they say with a pinch of salt, but you know that there's this kind of pact that they have. We won't break your balls as long as you don't do X, which is why I think Pioli's got away with so much for so long, because we won the title when we won it.
Fair
That's
point.
a good point, Steve.
Fair point. They do seem to be very. I mean, I appreciate the fact that they're not very. They're not very shoot from the hip, right? But the thing is it. You know, there's a big difference in between being like shoot from the hip versus. I mean, you know, when external fans are pointing out what's wrong with your club, and a huge amount of your fan base agrees with it, and then the Curve are taking about another 6 months to actually come to the same conclusion. It's a bit, you know, it is a bit too much. I like, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's a bit like dating somebody and having all of your mates say, "Oh, that person ain't right. That's that, you know, for you." But they don't. But you don't want to believe them. You know better.
That's it. That's it, pretty much. So yeah, it's a good way of looking at it. Actually, to be fair, that's true.
So, am I replacing Lab Gorilla? No.
Oh, is it?
No, I guess maybe if that position's open.
That's it.
Yeah,
oh God.
He was a regular on the show, but then obviously other things got in the way. He's extremely busy now, so he makes his appearances when he can. Lab.
There we go.
His so fun fact: Lab Gorilla's been hired by Milan.
Has he?
That's it.
Has he?
No, he hasn't. Of course not. No.
Oh no, Jesus! Oh God! Mugged off completely. Right.
He's too overqualified for you know, any torture project that the Milan physio team calls themselves these days.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. I think with Pioli gone, that's probably the other positive thing, is that whole department is going to be out as well.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I seen some crazy stat like it'll cost. It's going to cost like 15 million. Not just if Pioli goes, but because of all the backroom staff stuff that has to be changed and bought in to accommodate whatever new manager comes in.
Right.
So, yeah, that's
it's going to listen. I'd rather pay, you know, what's the term that I've heard before? It's like I'd rather pay to have like top quality food. Or some. Anyway, I'd just rather pay just to not have Pioli. Full stop. Like if they did a GoFundMe, I'd put into it.
Yeah, you know what's not sitting right with me though. You know, like I know that there was a huge backlash from a lot of fans when it came to Lopetegui, And then Milan turned around and kind of said, "Oh, based on the backlash, we're not going to, go with this manager."
Yeah.
Something's not sticking right with me there, though, because there's been
What's
far
that?
more tumultuous things that have happened at the club that Redbird have just gone and done, and they don't give a shit about fan opinion. So why would they suddenly start now? It makes no sense.
I don't believe half of it.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah.
I mean, who says who? So they say that they said that, and they do this and they do that, but there's no factual information. It's just people sort of saying that it's happened. Me and Gino talked about this on our last podcast where we talked about Lopetegui and the fans and whatever. And a lot of people say, clubs shouldn't be dictated by fans. Fans shouldn't, about the whole petition thing and whatever. But what I would say is no one really knows. And the reason I say that is because the names constantly keep changing. One person says one thing, one person says something completely different. 1 minute it's Fonseca, 1 minute it's Lopetegui, 1 minute it's Conceição, 1 minute it's Thiago Motta's. The deal's been hijacked for Juve, then it's Conte. I genuinely think no one has an actual clue, and they're just trying to throw as much. What do they say? Throw as much shit at the wall as possible, and eventually something sticks, doesn't it? So I don't believe half of it. If Milan and Cardinale and Redbird decide they're going for a manager, they will get that manager. I don't think whatever the fans say will do will make a massive difference. And they can protest all they want and whatever, but I can't see it. If it's a logical business decision. And that's what they run this club on, because it looks like it is financial analysis. They run it on that management technique. If they think a manager is the right one to do it, then they'll go get him. I can't see it. It's just
Max,
media nonsense.
Yeah,
But I do stand by what I also said in that. It's in that I think they flew the kite. So I think they flew the kite to basically sound out very quickly, like, this is who we've got in mind. And then they did see the reaction. But I genuinely think that they were in advanced talks with Lopetegui at that moment. And then they've gone, uh-oh.
We need to...
Because you need buy-in from the fans. And what's happened this year is the fans haven't been bought into the nonsense. The nonsense is not going to win your league titles, right? But what it's going to do is it's going to sustain the fans. I genuinely do think that they flew the kite to basically say, look, we got it. This is who it is. Let's just see what they say. But I agree with you, Max, in that, if they've then chosen a manager, they'll go and get him. So I think there is a bit too many names flowing around, but I think they do. I think they've got a short list. I think they've got a short list of who they want. They've got a budget. And all of a sudden they're starting to realize, who is it that we get? Because we can't stick with Pioli. And by the way, if you could offload Pioli to Napoli and not have to pay anything to Pioli, but something to the staff, you'd rather do that. So if there is that possibility, you would get rid of him.
Yeah, I mean, I'd pay the 15 million to then have something in place to get through a Champions League group stage, which will make you way more than 15 million anyway, won't it? So
that's true.
It's I had this conversation with a well-known American news, not CBS reporter, who said, made fun of us at saying the Pioli out stuff and made lots of remarks around Pioli and how, kind of made fun a little bit of people. But my argument was, if you keep a manager on who won't win you results, whether the money that you then have to pay to sack him, you're going to lose anyway because you're not going to encase the revenue that you should. If you get through to the last 16 of the Champions League, you will make way more money than if you sack a manager and pay him his buyout. It's not even close. I don't think it's two completely different things. It's a massive incentive. So if you pay 15 million for your backroom staff and then you replace them with ones that can get you through a Champions League group stage or get you into a quarter final, then I think it's a no-brainer. You've made your money back instantly in one season.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, on that point, my issue is all these other clubs that have been looking for managers this season, looks like they've been more decisive in their choices, right? Optics. but our optics looks terrible. We have all these different names being thrown around consistently, changing. Every week is different. Every day, every hour, it changes. Fonseca, Conceição, then it's back to Fonseca, then Mota. And as a club, this damages your reputation, in my opinion, right? Because now if free agents are looking at this, you have free agents, you have their agents looking at this news and going, why would I want to come to Milan if they can't even pick a manager? And the longer you take, those choices of getting a Xerxes or I don't know, whatever other player diminishes. Because other teams will come in and say, listen, we have a manager in place, we have a project in place, why don't you come play for us? Why go to Milan? They don't know what they're doing. They don't have their house together. They don't have anything in order.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Oh, good God, man! The Milan game's already started.
I don't think anybody's watching that game today.
Yeah, I think I'd rather be here, just talking about how rubbish we are. So yeah, but I'll keep it on in the background, and I'll just every now and again stare through my hands.
That's it. That's it.
Wondering about life generally, and
pointless fucking game in taking place this one.
So I like Christian here, who's the next scapegoat for next season? The coach, Milan Lab, Ballo, or Ibra. I'd like to already nominate Balotelli, then Ibra, and then Milan Lab. So, yeah.
That's it. Add in Berlusconi as well, because people aren't bringing him up a lot now for being.
Well, it's nearly a year since he's departed, and everything's gone to shit. So let's just put it there. Yeah. What else? For this season, who had the most injuries in total for Milan? I kind of want to say Pioli.
Brain injuries.
Brain injuries. That's where I was going.
Man is broken.
It's just he's just got so much concussion. It's like he's been playing American football all of his life, and he just found himself on a bench.
That's it. That's it.
He doesn't know what he's doing. God, I'm sorry.
That's it. He needs to get people in and out of the dugout now.
God.
Bad.
Oh God, sorry. Right.
I bet you. Do you know what? I put a wager that the most injured player has probably been. I bet you it's been Kalulu.
I think Mike.
Or Mike.
I think Mike total has missed 30-something games, or there was somebody came out with a number yesterday. How many games he's missed?
But since he's come to the club.
Yeah, but not
so many games. This season's been the worst. I mean, for Christ's sake, the kid he was warming up the other day and he gets hurt. He gets injured while warming up.
He's not injured himself warming up, mate. He's on the phone to his agent saying, "Get me out of here." That's right.
He'd rather go play for PSG than us.
Guys, could you imagine if Donnarumma came back? Go on.
You know what? Donnarumma.
Genoa got a penalty.
Oh no! God, they have. Oh no!
Genoa 1-0 up.
Brilliant.
There it is.
Do you guys remember when we were on a winning streak? Like we were on a 7-game winning streak, and everybody was praising Pioli.
That was
during that time. What are we now? 5. We've lost 5 games in a row. Is it now?
I'm not selling Max down the river here, but Max was saying for quite a few games, it's Pioli all the way, baby. So, I'm just saying.
No. What? Hold on a minute. Whoa. Hold on a minute. What I said was I couldn't see them. What I said was I couldn't see them getting rid of him, even though they should have done. Even though they should do it at the end of the season regardless, I couldn't see them getting rid of him. I thought he'd still be here next season. That's what I
Bloody hell! Have you seen how he's in that penalty? Lads, it's top corner. He smashed that.
That's it. Who's in
That
goal
is beautiful.
Is it Maignan? No, it's Sportiello.
No, Sportiello.
Sportiello, our starting keeper for next season.
Starting keeper for next season, man.
I literally turned it on and I just saw him about to take a penalty. I don't know how the penalty.
At the end of the day, actually, kind of like for the Euros, I want Retegui to be already scoring goals. So if it has to happen against Milan, so be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing to play for. Well, I mean,
Second or third.
Who cares?
That's
really?
it.
My money is it Musa playing right back today? Who's playing right back?
No, he's not.
Florenzi.
Yeah.
So
To be fair, that's not a bad
Florenzi,
starting 11.
Oh. Florenzi, Chow. Florenzi,
that should be Genoa.
it's Chow, Cabia. Who else is playing in Theo, right?
Yeah.
No, it's
Okay. Well,
No.
Tomori, isn't it?
Cabio and Tomori.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then he's got Reinders and Benacer, and then he's got Chuck, Pulisic, Leao, and Giroud at top. That's not the worst starting 11.
We've seen worse.
So Christian's informing us that Tomori gave away the penalty kick, which doesn't surprise me.
Man's bags are packed for Chelsea. Easiest 50 million we ever made.
Well, listen, in order for him to play for Southgate, he needs to be in England, right?
He does, yes.
Southgate doesn't pay attention to Syria. Italian football doesn't exist for him, unfortunately.
You need to remind the England manager that you're better than Harry Maguire every game.
Yeah, the slabhead. Well, the ultras are cheering. The ultras are gesticulating. God bless them. Oh, pom-poms in hand.
Wasn't that a thing for this game that they said they asked everyone not to?
Correct.
Cheer.
They put a statement out saying that we're going to protest today's game.
Yeah.
But in the stadium or at home.
Oh, okay. Wow.
This is what I love watching at Milan right now. So I'm watching what is effectively sideways passing, and then hoping to God you give it to Leao, who'll just run with it. So again, I love how we are tactically just muscled out by a Genoa side. Have they finished 11th, or will they be around 11th, 10th?
Let me see.
Anyway,
yeah, they could feasibly finish.
In the top half.
Yeah, top half.
Yeah, they're 12th. They're 12th right now. So they're 12th on 45 points, right? Yep. As it currently stands. They're a point behind Monza, 2 points behind Torino. But Gilardino has done an incredible job. He's got them into Serie A. He's got them playing well. Yep. You know, I just kind of like, well, that's a foul. And he doesn't give it, right? So you've got them playing well. And it's like, again, a name that, I mean, I said this a few weeks back, didn't I, Max? Potentially should be on the short list. I don't think he's right for the job right now, but if he continues to show progression and he shows some sort of new way of thinking about football and tactics, then yeah. But we are, oh my God, we are just shit. It's like we are not moving the ball in any direction. When we get pressed on, we get pressed on. We actually get pressed on a mid-block. So that's kind of what's happening.
So you know what I said a couple of weeks ago, Gino? It was around the time of, when they didn't show up for 2 legs. So they didn't show up basically for the 2 legs against Roma.
Yes.
It's like, this is a team that's already been told that their manager won't be their manager next season, and they've already mentally checked out.
Yeah.
That's essentially all that was going on there. It's like,
Shane, you got to remember too. In addition, De Rossi, he kind of set the blueprint how to shut down Leao and Theo, and that was just simply overloading their side, just sending every available player on Leao and Theo's side, shutting down for 2 games.
Very, very true.
All right. And that, so, I'm sure Genoa was probably doing the same thing today. They're like, oh, De Rossi's, he kind of showed us the way, the path, how to shut down Milan. Every team's going to do the same thing because it's just a simple tactic. It's nothing,
Yeah.
Be nice if our manager adapted tactically to different.
He's stubborn. That's why.
Why are you asking for so much? I don't get it. It's like you're asking him to do his job properly. Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
But guys, a lot of coaches have that problem. Postecoglou who plays in Tottenham is stubborn as hell. He's considered a good manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
Klopp is considered one of the top. He's stubborn as hell. He doesn't change the way of his play either. He likes to play that rock and roll football. And Liverpool's are glad that he's leaving now. And then you have I think one of the few and then you have De Zerbi, another promising top coach that everybody loves and adores. He's stubborn as shit too with his style of play. He hasn't changed his style either. So obviously a lot of coaches don't change their style of play.
True, but the style of play isn't dependent upon two players for them. Do you know what I mean? I think
of course we're dependent on 2 or 3 players.
Yeah, it's too predictable, and then it's just we wonder why we don't have success. Just getting onto it, Nico. Sir, I think it's your time to shine. So 1 second, I'm gonna do this properly. Boom, boom.
Please do, Shane. Don't ruin it, Shane.
Let's go. All right. Love that intro. Over to go, man.
All right, guys, this is defensive Dynamo segment. This is where I usually break down tactics, Milan related. So today we'll be breaking down our latest candidate to possibly be the next coach for Pioli, to replace Pioli, Sérgio Conceição, FC Porto. All right, so let's go over some of his basic, stats and overall. So he's currently coaching over there at Porto. Favors a 4-4-2. Also does play a 4-2-3-1. So that's something that we're regularly playing. So that's something that could be easily adaptable to Milan. That being said, let's dive into some more interesting facts about him. All right, so let's bring in the stats. So this is one of my favorite sites, FB Ref. So anybody from FB Ref is listening to this podcast, please sponsor us if you could. Because I know Gino likes to use, what was that? It's the transfer market, Gino?
I love it.
Yeah, and I
love transfer market.
So you're hoping they can sponsor your show sometime too, correct?
The show, my life.
Yeah, everything.
I'll take it. Everything. I'll stick it on my car if they want me to.
Yeah, same here. I'll even get a tattoo of FFB Ref if they sponsor the show. All right, so back to this.
They're just like we are just like sponsorship, whores here. Just do it.
Whatever we can do, whatever we can get.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
All right. So the good thing about Sérgio Conceição, the last 3 seasons, he's had some good defensive stats. At Porto, I think their goals against have been really good, much better than Milan's. Besides the Scudetto season, we had a good defense with Benny and Tonali and Kalulu and Tomori leading the pack over there. So this season currently they've given up 26 goals against. When if you compare it to us, I think we're at 38 and counting, or 39 now. So listen. So with that being said, it kind of looks like we're drifting towards that direction right now. Obviously, other names are being thrown. But Sergio Conceição is a viable candidate to take over this team. He does play a style of play that we're familiar with. And let me share my screen here, gentlemen, as well. So let's get this going and get into some more fun stuff about this possible manager here. Hold on. All right, there we go. So the cool thing about Conceição's style of play, he does play a heavy pressure. Let's dive into his defensive tactics, right? Defensively, they like to play a lot of pressure on the ball. He does focus on that 4-2-3-1 as well by applying pressure. So obviously, this is something we'll need to consider as well, being that he does play a high pressure game. We do notice that Leao, somebody that doesn't like to press the ball. I think if he comes in, we'll have to change Leao's behavior and get Leao to play defense. Because as a unit, you need to defend. If you're going to apply pressure on a team and get the ball back, you need everybody to work on defense, not just 9 players or 10. You need all 11 players. Well, besides the keeper, obviously, so 10. And really important fact as well, he really relies on his middle fielders to defend as well, especially if you're playing that 4-2-3-1, which obviously, as we know, we don't have energetic midfielders. We have Adley, who defends when he wants to. We have Tajani, who disappears on defense. We have Benny, who's about 80%. And Musa. So that's something to consider as well, guys. If in order for Sérgio Conceição to come in, he's going to want to get those midfielders to be high engine, high output midfielders to get back and defend the pitch. That's a really big, important part that we need to consider as well, obviously. So with that being said, and I'll get to some more stuff in a minute, what do you think about this potential candidate, this him coming in possibly?
Max, you want to go first?
Yeah, Max, Gino.
Yeah. I mean,
Max,
what do I think about him coming in? It's a much better option than Lopetegui for me personally. Having looked at the way that Lopetegui plays and the way that he gets his teams to play, that Conceição is much more organised. I do like the idea of having a defensive frame and a midfield that works in both phases, not just attack. And that's something we've been lacking all season. Also like the notion of getting the best out of Leao, not just from an attacking point of view, but also as a unit. For me, I think it's a really good option. There's risk with every single option. There's risk with everyone. But he seems like a pretty good guarantee. I think it's probably favourable. He's not going to want a load of money. It looks like I think because of the presidential stuff going on with Porto, I think he did extend his contract, but now because of the new president, it's not a thing. He could be leaving. So I think with all the things you've described there, Nico, it gives me a really good idea of what we could look like defensively as well. And I think if we look at this season on balance with sort of how we've played and the results that we've got, there's always been those moments where we've just left so much space in the middle of the park and in our defence, and we've been poor on set-piece defending, etc., that make you think maybe this guy could come in and do a job. I also like that he's played in Italy before, so he's played for Lazio. I know he's played for Inter as well. So he's going to have an understanding of the language, the culture, the football, etc. So for me, a very good option of all the names that's going. And again, tactically as well, makes sense. It's not just one of those names. For me, I wouldn't be against that at all.
Well, go ahead, Gino.
Yeah, no. So I've been saying Conceição's name for a few weeks, and I've enjoyed watching Porto play. It's a very different kind of playing, a different kind of league in terms of how they play. So watching Portuguese football, they reward more kind of structured, balanced teams. So in order to win that league, you have to be consistently balanced. in your attack and in your defense, right? It's consistent. So your peaks and troughs are few and far between. So that being said, I think watch the game. If you want to understand Conceição and how adaptable he is, watch the game against Arsenal earlier in the season, where they won 1-0. They were phenomenal, right? They stopped Arsenal playing. They stopped Arsenal playing through the channels and playing through the lines, which has been our biggest problem this season because of that amount of space that we leave between midfield and defence. That means, as you rightly pointed out, Nico, the fact that you've got to organise the team differently. You've got to put players in the right positions. Therefore, if you bring in Conceição, expect to not see Adley playing anymore. Expect to potentially not see Benacer as a player. Expect him to draft in defensive midfielders, but proper defensive midfielders. Change the way that Chukwueze, Leao, Pulisic play currently, which is what you need to do. So he is like this kind of a bit of a master of the mid-block. If anybody wants to understand mid-block, go on YouTube, type in mid-block defensive. What it is, it's just you're shifting your defensive priorities into the middle of the pitch. So you're not allowing players to give you pressure when you're in your defensive end, your defensive third, right? By doing that, everybody's got a very specific job. And that's what I want to see from the next Milan coach. I want players to understand what their roles are and what their job is, and that they stick to it. And not this kind of pass and hope strategy that we've had with Leao, and what we're actually seeing with Chukwueze as well, where you pass it to the right-hand side, let's hope Chukwueze creates something. Well, no. Do the job properly as a unit, and that's what Conceição is going to bring you. So that's why I'm excited by the name of Conceição, because I think you need something that is actually more defensive as a team. We've got the players who can attack. We don't have to worry about attack in terms of having to create. What we need to worry about is how we defend as a team. And we've not done that. So for me, I'm excited by the prospect of a Conceição coming into the squad, if he is that. I'm noticing Milanista 360 thinks that you, Shane, should be also the football manager based on your 2023 stats.
That's because I'm the one typing. In third person. It's great.
So that's it.
So that's good. I'm glad you brought up the mid-block, actually. It's a perfect segue into this. All right, hopefully this works. All right. So let me blow this up. So I brought this up. I found, so this is the mid-block 4-1-4-1, right, that they played. Let's get this to work. This is Champions League. So this is perfect. So this is against Arsenal. This is exactly what Gino had mentioned before. So the mid block. So usually a lot of clubs that we know in Italy play a low block, right? Parking the bus. Mid block is a little bit more aggressive. You're not playing high pressure. It's more of a counter press. Something that Bayern Munich was famous for years ago under Jupe when they beat Madrid in the Champions League, or I should say Barcelona. So they're very effective at doing this, Portugal. But as Gino had stated, and I've said it many times as well, in order for something like this to work, you need players to buy into your system and want to play defense, right? And actually defend as a unit.
There.
Boom. See, they're shifting. If you notice, look, their back line's compact. They're not spread out. They're not all over the place like our back line is. They're compact. The midfield's compact. And you got everybody, the two forwards playing together as well.
And those two forwards, where they currently are right now, well, you see what they do. They're forcing the two defenders, left and right, they're forcing them to play it either backwards or forwards where there is already cover.
Yeah, they're not allowing him to turn.
That's
Look,
right.
look again.
And-
look how they. Go ahead.
Oh, that's just beautiful. If you
It's
admire
beautiful.
defense, you just look at that. You got that back four, and actually look at what that central defender's doing. He's pointing. He's saying, "Look, on the right, there's
Exactly.
two. There's
Yeah.
two." So he's actually what by saying that there's two. You see the one in the center circle, the only one that's in the center circle. There, yeah, that's it. So now he should be indicating to the one next to him
Right
to
here.
just look right. That's what he
He's
should be doing.
Yeah, 'cause
So there's
they're
going to be a
taking-
double cover.
Correct. Yeah, they're taking away 2 players.
It's one of those. It's easy to watch when you know what you're looking for.
And
It's
just to point this out, they don't have individually. They don't have any superstars, Porto,
No,
at all.
no.
It's quite nice to see 2 midfielders in between attack and defence as well.
There you go. There it is.
Midfielders and look, and currently as a midfielder, who has the ability to be that marshal, to be that leader? No one.
Yeah,
What-
but-
and
yeah, but-
That's what we lost with Tonali. That's what we lost with Tonali,
but
right?
also-
And Kessie, by the way.
But you need to set them up to do that as well. You need to set
Yeah.
them up.
That needs to be taught.
if
That
you
needs to be
tell-
taught.
If you tell Benacer and Adley they need to be in that space, don't move from that space, watch this video, look at how this works. As professional football players, surely they're going to understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
But that's
but
not.
Pioli
It's not.
doesn't have the ability either. Max.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Correct.
It's not, there is, there's value in saying the quality of a player and the defensive characteristics, of course.
Shane, what do you? Let me. I know you're not. Something. This is. I want to get your thoughts on this, Shane. What are you thinking about this? All this.
Did you post something? I think in the
What we've
middle
just
of the
shown-
week
What you've just
where.
shown is much simpler to understand.
Oh, so what I just
Yeah, based
showed-
on this. Yeah.
So again, it looks great when you see it, right? But keep in mind, like he's been at Porto for nearly
6 years, 7 years.
years.
Yeah.
So like he's been able to craft players and players basically to be able to facilitate that, right?
Mhm.
And I mean, if we are going to go with someone like that, I mean, I can see why the system makes sense for us. But my concern would be is that if we shouldn't be going into this with the expectation that we're just going to win the Serie A next year.
No.
Oh, no.
Regardless, gentlemen. Even if we bring in Pep, okay, you can't expect a new manager to win the league in the first season. It's impossible. Because it's not going to happen. Because he's got to get the players in place to buy into his system.
Because you see, the concern I'd have with it, regardless of the system or whatever else, I think there was one thing that you did mention, I think during the week, Nico, you'd mentioned it on a post or you'd referred to it in the chat, and it was something along the lines of Conceição does actually, alternate between the formations. Well, he does have his specific one, which you've just shown us is the 4-4-2. He does change it up a bit to a 4-2-3-1, and I'm kind of going, well, this actually sounds good because it sounds like there's a manager that, we will be far more dangerous if we had 2 separate styles of play, that we can kind of adapt to each game. Do you know what I mean? Depending on how we need to and where we see that we need to do it. But unfortunately now we don't. So I mean, I'd be excited to get him from that standpoint.
Well,
for sure.
we've seen Pioli change it, but he changes out of desperation without prepping his players with enough time. He does it when we when we give up 5 goals, the next game he'll change formation without proper timing, without giving his team enough time to adapt.
Pioli is reactive, not proactive. That's
Correct.
He's always
That's huge.
He always is reactive.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're behind. I better put 3 players on. It's It's never, oh, let's watch this Genoa team. Let's see how they play. Oh, maybe if I move this player and do this formation, maybe it'll work. It's never that. It's always, this is what I do. Oh my God, it's not working. Oh my God, let's do something different. That's it. You watch
and then it's like panic on like young players.
Yeah.
When they've absolutely, you know.
Just stick on the 16-year-old. Yeah, what are you doing? What? Oh yeah, so Okafor doesn't get a run, but the 16-year-old does.
Destroy the kid's confidence for the rest of his career because you put him in an impossible situation.
He put Bartasaghi on and still didn't put Terracciano on. I was just like, what?
Yep.
Terracciano has done something very bad. My conspiracy theory on this as well is that he has either murdered a Milan lab assistant, or he shaved his head to show that he can grow his hair back. Summit that just is offensive on some sort of kind of psyops warfare level. I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. So
Pioli's TV remote stick shit.
I reckon Terracciano wouldn't pay the monthly subscription to the Greenwich fan club, and that's why Pioli won't play him.
That was it.
No, because in all seriousness, we did see him at his previous club. Terracciano is a promising player. He's not some scrub, some garbage player without potential.
No, he made one mistake. He made one mistake against Bologna, and that's it.
Listen, hold on. Yeah, and that one mistake was on Pioli because you're putting a kid in. He put if I remember correctly, he put him in at a very important part of the game. You don't put kids in at those moments of the game. You put in a veteran.
But the thing is, there's been times where we've been 2 or 3 goals up.
That's when you put him in. That's the perfect time.
You know what I mean? He doesn't and it's kind of, you're kind of going, I don't understand this.
That's the opposite of what a coach should do.
Yeah.
It's so obvious. It's not obvious to him. That's what we say, don't we, Gino?
I think he's. Go ahead, Gino.
Yeah, no, it's that thing of it's so obvious that it's obvious. So it's so obvious it's not obvious, but which is what Max and I always say. It's quite painful. It literally blows my mind every time we say it as well, because I'm sure I get it wrong. But it's one of those things that just getting back to the Conceição argument though. If you look at what Inzaghi does at Inter, lest we all be reminded of what a great job Inzaghi's done at Inter, he has almost 2 types of formations, apart from when he plays Sassuolo. He then doesn't know how to win. But it's one of those things where they've got 2 very specific kinds of formations for when they have to be defensive and when they have to be attacking. It shifts only 1 or 2 players into slightly more advanced positions or slightly less advanced positions. But it's that kind of nuance that I think is what we lack massively, right? It's not that we lack nuance, by the way. We lack fundamentals. It's not nuance. But again, it's whoever comes in, regardless of this, if it's Conceição, heaven forbid we should get Motta, right? Heaven forbid we should get Motta. But if we did, right, my thing is this. You got to fix the defense. You've just got to fix defense. Defense wins leagues. Attack wins games.
I've said that hundreds of times, Gino.
Thank you.
Any sport you play in, defense wins championships. End of story.
It's any sport. I mean, who was it? It was Coach Walden, wasn't it, that said it at UCLA, and Lombardi, Vince Lombardi said it. So those two have said it.
And the Packers, correct, back in the day.
And the Packers, defense wins titles. Milan's history, even going back to the 60s, it's we have got defense. We have got a defense. We do defensive football. We just happen to be able to transition defense into attack. What Pioli seems to have forgotten is we need midfielders to take the ball to the attack. So it kind of misses this kind of big point. Midfielders are I'd probably say this as being a midfielder. When I played football, I was a midfielder. Midfielders have to constantly be aware of where they are on the pitch at any given moment. If you've got to run back and defend, you run back and defend. But if you've got to take the ball forwards, you've got to take the ball forward. Luckily for everybody listening, I wasn't the kind of guy that would take the ball forwards. I am not a dribbler. I am a passer. You know, get me on a diagonal, get me on a forward pass, fine. But a midfielder has to be aware of where to collect the ball, where to support, and where to play it forwards. We, this year, have been unable to get our midfielders playing a ball directly and forwards. I want Man United to come in for Loftus-Cheek. I want to get rid of that shitbag. I'm sorry.
So easily replaceable, like, and him and Reinders as well. To be honest, they're so easily replaceable. Like they're
so easily replaceable. They do not. Honestly, yeah. Oh, we've got all these goals. Yeah, because he just happens to be stood on the edge of the area. Like it's like, yeah. I mean, my nan could hit it, and she's got a broken hip and is in a bloody wheelchair. She's also nearly 90, but she could do it. Do you know what I mean? It's not. It's what he's doing isn't hard. Yes, Saki's Milan was offensive, but they could defend. That's the point, yeah.
Yeah, he changed. You got to remember when Saki came in, I did a segment on him a long time ago. He took that. We were playing that Catenaccio back in the day, right? That was like the most prevalent defense tactics in Italy at the time. He came in and he started that attacking, high pressing style play, which, by the way, that's what Klopp based his system on, was on Saki.
Yeah.
And the German teams, like even the Gegenpressing, that's called, that German is
Gegenpressing
was based Gegenpressing was based off of a Saki, based off of the Milan team from Saki.
Yeah, and don't forget Klopp. So Ancelotti's Milan in the Christmas tree was a variation of that. Very much so. Who went and watched Ancelotti? You know, Trey. It was Klopp. So Klopp early in his career was watching all of that. There's a lot going on where football fundamentally is not a hard concept. It's just that humans get involved and we make it hard. Okay. You need to know how to play. That video that you were showing before, by the way, Nico, it's really interesting. You've got, when you break it down tactically, you've got box passing and triangle passing when Porto then got the ball.
Correct. Something you work in training all the time with the rondos and everything else.
Yes. So it makes Arsenal have to work to get the ball back. Now, I hope I'm not out of turn when I say this, but if you are a professional footballer, you will know if you're not doing your job, unless the coach is pretending to be your best mate. So this idea, I mean, Christian's put, we need Kessie or a similar type. Yeah, we do. But guess what? We need three of them, not one. We need three. So we've always got cover. Secondly, somebody like Conceição, and this is what I was saying to Martino Puccio the other day. I was saying to him, look, you have to be aware that somebody like Conceição can bring Portuguese players in and South American players in. He's got that kind of attraction of bringing in these unknown elements who will be cheaper. Because what is LFC doing? LFC, or Liverpool Football Club, the sporting coach, one of the sporting directors that they're bringing in is focusing specifically on the Portuguese league.
Yeah,
That
and it's
that
just
makes so much sense as to why Barcelona were so heavily invested in getting him then as well, because they're not in a good spot in terms of their finance and the amount
No,
they can outlay on
they,
players.
they're heavily expensive players on Barcelona, by the way. But to Gino's point too, let's not forget Portugal soccer football has one of the best their academies. You have FC Porto, their academy, the players that they bring together.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have Benfica has a history of developing excellent players. You have Sporting Leal's old academy. So that being said, someone like a Portuguese coach with that kind of background will know to be able to bring players from the Porto Academy over to Milan as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that's which is huge, and that's going to something that could possibly change the next 5-6 years if he does come on to Milan. That could change the club's trajectory and start competing.
And also, and Max will be able to give me the name. I've completely forgotten his name. I thought, is it Braida with Leonardo?
Yeah.
We're bringing in all the Brazilian talent.
Well, yeah. Now you see Chelsea doing that too. Now they're poaching Brazilian players left and right.
Braida got Kaká, didn't he? Braida went and got Kaká.
Braida got Kaká. Leonardo went and got Pato.
Yeah.
So it's not that this is saying like, oh, we're going to be ending up bringing in these absolute champions straight away, but it's a case of let's structure the team in a way and the management in a way. Cardinale, if you want to go and build a stadium, you know what? Go and do that. Don't give us your nonsense anymore in your stupid little interviews where you're trying to look like Billy Big Bollocks, right? Honest to God, he deserves a slap, that lad, right? He does. He just does. He just needs to shut up, look pretty, right? Talk with your like 30 or 40 little Italian words, and piss off. Go and pay somebody else off to go get that stadium built. Off you go, little child. Leave the football to footballing brains, which right now we have none in that senior management. Oh, Christian, I couldn't care less. Jerry can come and visit me, mate. We'll have a nice little mock-up. I'll introduce him to what Italian culture is in Northern England with my partially Scouse accent. But I'll be able to speak to him in Italian if he knew any, right? And the thing is, it's like just understand. You got to leave the football to footballing brains. That's what Braida was. That's what Zio Festa was. Right? They were footballing brains. They were fans, but they were footballing brains. They knew how to run an organization. They knew how to keep it going. You want to keep your accountants there, keep your accountants there. We all know what good accountants are, right? I mean, they're absolutely useless half of the time. They can't tell you how I can avoid paying taxes on my bills. But anyway, so but for a big club like that, let them do that. Let them figure out that stuff. That's why you bring in Zlatan. You basically say to Zlatan, right, you need to be the buffer. You need to be the player facing, but do that job straight away. Straight away do that job.
Sorry, did Florenzi just score? He did.
Florenzi scored? I've not even seen it. Has he scored?
Yeah, it's 1-0. I'm not making this up. He scored with a header.
Oh yeah.
Who had money on Florenzi scoring today first?
With a header. I think that must be the first time in his career. Like, that's impressive. Wow. But anyway, guys, I think we got to wrap up as well because Max is starving to death over there.
Max, Gino, it was great. Hey, by the way, Gino, quick. Next time I do a defensive, and Max as well. This is an open invitation to both of you. Next time I do a defensive breakdown, either on this show or solo, you guys are more welcome to come on if you have the time.
Absolutely, would love to. Thank you for the offer. Yeah. Definitely.
That's it.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, I would love to. We need to get you guys on.
Yes.
Well.
For that, for sure. Be a lot of fun.
We can do some Bottedari and Canal. That's what we like there.
Awesome.
And by the way, Christian, follow me on Twitter. Come and follow me, mate. I'd love to see how you tweet. I just want to see if I get any abuse there. Let's do it.
No, Christian's quite good, man. He's quite good. He's got that perfect art of trolling, but not being a dick about it. You know what I mean?
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
It's good. It's good. On that bombshell, and let's go and watch the train wreck that is the rest of our season. And
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Thanks a million, gents.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for having us,
Anytime.
mate.
It was great having you guys.
Forza Milan.
And stay.
Forza Milan.
Forza Milan.
Forza Milan. Forza Milan.